That bright pink skin, those alien-like scales, a name borrowed from mythology. Dragon fruit looks like a marketing stunt. Most people see it and assume it's just another pretty, photogenic, exotic fruit that's nutritionally forgettable. That assumption is wrong, dangerously wrong. Because behind that dramatic appearance is a food that quietly rewires your digestion, your metabolism, your blood sugar control, inflammation, and even how your cells age. And almost nobody eats it for the right reasons. Today, we're not just admiring the dragon fruit, we're dissecting it. Because once you understand what it actually does inside your body, you'll never see it as just fruit again. First, let's strip away the hype. Dragon fruit, also called pitaya, was never meant to be super sweet. If you bite into one expecting the sugary punch of a mango, you're going to be disappointed. And that disappointment is exactly why it's so powerful. Modern humans are addicted to intensity, sugar intensity, flavor intensity, stimulation intensity. Dragon fruit doesn't seduce your tongue. It speaks to your cells, which is why it was prized by ancient cultures long before it was ever photographed for social media. Let's talk about the fiber nobody mentions. Dragon fruit is packed with prebiotic fiber, specifically something called oligosaccharides. Now, these fibers don't feed you, they feed your gut bacteria. And here's what most people miss. Your gut bacteria decide so much about your health. They determine how much inflammation your body produces, how well you regulate your blood sugar, how strong your immune system becomes, and even how anxious or calm your mind feels. When you eat dragon fruit, you're not just eating for calories. You are actively reshaping your internal ecosystem. Most chronic diseases begin with a gut imbalance long before any symptoms appear. Dragon fruit works quietly, behind the scenes, before the damage becomes visible. Next, blood sugar control without the crash. Dragon fruit has a low glycemic load, even though it's a fruit. What does that mean? It means a minimal insulin spike, no sharp blood sugar crash afterward, and stable energy for hours. This matters more than just weight loss. Unstable blood sugar accelerates aging. It increases fat storage, it triggers inflammation, and it disrupts your hormones. Dragon fruit slows down how your body absorbs carbohydrates and improves its sensitivity to insulin, especially in people who are already trending toward metabolic dysfunction. This is why it shows real promise for managing prediabetes and insulin resistance, not as a cure, but as powerful biological support. Remember, modern medicine often reacts to problems. Real food prevents them. And what about those tiny black seeds? They're not just for decoration. They are loaded with essential fatty acids, including omega-3 and omega-6 in a balanced ratio. These fats are critical. They support your brain structure, they reduce chronic inflammation, and they improve the flexibility of your cell membranes. You see, your cells aren't solid little bricks. They are fluid, flexible membranes. And what you eat directly determines how flexible or how rigid those membranes become. Rigid cells age faster. The fats in dragon fruit seeds help keep your cells adaptable and youthful. Dragon fruit also contains powerful antioxidants like betalains and polyphenols, which are great at neutralizing free radicals. But here's the important distinction. Free radicals aren't inherently evil. They are actually signaling molecules your body uses. The problem is when you have an excess of them. Dragon fruit doesn't just shut down all oxidation, it balances it. That's the difference between wisdom and suppression. Oversuppressing oxidative stress with mega doses of antioxidants can be just as damaging as ignoring it. Biology always favors balance, not extremes. Dragon fruit helps your body find that middle path. Now let's talk about gut healing without the aggression. A lot of so-called gut health foods can be pretty aggressive. Fermented foods can irritate a sensitive gut. High FODMAP foods can cause bloating. And a sudden overload of the wrong fiber can actually cause more inflammation. Dragon fruit is different. It's gentle. It soothes the gut lining, it encourages the growth of beneficial bacteria, and it can reduce constipation without causing irritation. This makes it an ideal food for people with EB's tendencies, sensitive digestion, or for anyone recovering from a round of antibiotics. Healing doesn't always have to feel dramatic. Sometimes it feels quiet. Dragon fruit heals quietly. And what about hydration? Dragon fruit is over 85% water, but it's not just empty water. It's water that carries electrolytes, fiber, and micronutrients. This improves hydration at the cellular level, which is far more important than just your total fluid intake. Hydration isn't about how much you drink. It's about how well your cells can retain and use that water. Dehydrated cells malfunction, even if you're chugging water all day. Dragon fruit improves your body's water efficiency. That's critical for skin elasticity, joint lubrication, kidney function, and even blood volume regulation. Hydration isn't cosmetic, it's metabolic. Dragon fruit also supports your liver without any of the detox nonsense you see online. It helps liver function by reducing oxidative load, improving bile flow, and supporting fat metabolism. There's no juice cleanse, no starvation, no stress response required. Your liver doesn't need to be punished. It needs supportive input. And dragon fruit provides that input gently, especially when it's part of a balanced meal. Chronic inflammation is the silent driver of so many modern diseases: heart disease, neurodegeneration, autoimmune conditions, and accelerated aging. Dragon fruit has been shown to reduce inflammatory markers without shutting down your entire immune response. That distinction is crucial. If you suppress your immunity, you become weak. If you balance your immunity, you become resilient. Dragon fruit helps build resilience. And while people notice dragon fruit for its skin benefits, they often stop there. Yes, it supports collagen integrity, reduces oxidative damage, and improves hydration. But better skin is just a side effect, not the primary goal. Healthy skin is a reflection of what's happening inside: your gut health, your liver function, and your blood sugar stability. Dragon fruit doesn't just fix your skin. It fixes the systems that your skin relies on. Athletes should also pay close attention. Dragon fruit can improve oxygen delivery to muscles, speed up recovery, and balance electrolytes. It reduces the exercise-induced oxidative stress that causes soreness, but it does so without blunting the positive adaptations from your workout. This means you recover better without dulling your progress. Smarter is better. Dragon fruit is also low-calorie, but that's not its real value. Low-calorie foods are only useful if they also signal satiety and make you feel full. Dragon fruit does. Its fiber slows digestion, it reduces cravings, and it helps stabilize appetite hormones. This is why people often report feeling lighter after eating it, not because they ate less, but because their biology feels calmer. Lasting weight management begins with hormonal peace, not just restriction. There's a psychological effect here too that nobody mentions. When your blood sugar stabilizes, when inflammation drops, when your digestion is smooth, your mind follows. Many people report reduced anxiety, clearer thinking, and an improved mood. This isn't because dragon fruit directly affects your emotions, but because it removes the biological stressors that create mental noise. Mental clarity often arrives when the body stops fighting itself. So, who benefits the most? Dragon fruit is especially powerful for people with digestive sensitivity, those trending toward insulin resistance, individuals with chronic low-grade inflammation, and anyone who's been overexposed to ultra-processed foods. It's not a miracle. It's a course correction. Now, even good foods require context. If you're sensitive, eating a large amount of any fruit alone without protein or fat can still spike your blood sugar. Balance always matters. Food is information, and the timing and pairing of that food determines how your body interprets that information. This is why dragon fruit was never meant to be candy. It wasn't designed for our modern addiction to sweetness. It exists for function, not for pure indulgence. That's why it can feel a little underwhelming to people raised on hyper-stimulating food. Their tongues are overstimulated, but their cells are exhausted. Dragon fruit speaks the language of cells, not the language of cravings. The real secret of the dragon fruit isn't just the antioxidants, or the fiber, or the hydration. The secret is this: dragon fruit reduces biological noise. It quiets the systems in your body that are constantly overstimulated: your blood sugar, your inflammation, your digestion, your oxidative stress. And when that noise drops, the body can finally heal itself. Not dramatically, not instantly, but reliably. This is also why it will never be marketed aggressively. You can't patent dragon fruit. You can't get people addicted to it. You can't sell it as a miracle pill. And that's why it remains so underrated. Real health doesn't need to scream. It whispers. So here's a final thought. If you only eat foods that excite your tongue, you will eventually exhaust your body. But if you eat foods that respect your biology, your body will repay you with clarity, stability, and resilience. Dragon fruit isn't impressive at first bite, but neither is longevity. If this changed how you see this simple fruit, share this video with someone who still believes that health has to be extreme to be effective. Because sometimes the most powerful foods don't roar, they restore. Thanks for watching.